Being a champion is no easy task, but after you've won on each level of your career, you begin to understand what it takes to succeed. With the NBA lockout still holding up this season, we decided to sit down with NBA player Corey Brewer of the Dallas Mavericks to see how he's doing. Welcome to New York City. You played your first street ball game.
Oh, yeah.
How was it?
It was good. It was fun. You know, like, you dream about stuff like that just to play, like, under the lights in the streets of New York. Like, you watch He Got Game, you see movies and stuff. So for me to actually experience it was great.
Tennessee, you guys don't have any kind of street ball. Is it similar, though? Because it's like a sports town, though, right?
Yeah, it's a sports town, but, you know, you usually don't be outside and, like, the crowd get into it, like, when you're in New York. Like they say, it's a mecca, you know, when you're in New York, you're in the streets, you think about all the great players come through, like Kenny Ants and Stephon Marbury, all those guys. So, you know, it means a lot just to have a chance to play on those courts.
Portland is small, but you still managed to dominate on the courts. You McDonald's All-American, Jordan All-American. How did you separate yourself and be able to stand out on such a small stage?
You know, I say just hard work. You know, I grew up farming, you know, plowing on the farm. And my dad had a trash route, so he used to make us go. Me and my brother go on Fridays and Saturdays, the worst. So, you know, you grow up going to the field and picking up other people's trash. You know, you try to do something, anything, so you don't have to do that when you grow up. Luckily, basketball was something to get me out. I didn't have to go to a factory. I didn't have to go to the fields anymore. And I was lucky to get on the AAU team, got on the Nike circuit. I played well. After that, got a scholarship to Florida. Everything else, I was said and done.
Touching on Florida days, you're in an elite class. Like, you guys won back-to-back championships, 2006, 2007, and you were a standout player. How was it, I guess, growing as a player and developing in Florida?
It was great. You know, my freshman year, I averaged like 8 points. Just getting on the court was good for me, just getting to play. But then my next year, all summer, I worked real hard on my game. Did a lot of individuals with Coach Donovan. And my guys, like Joakim, Noah, Al Hortford, Torian Green, all those guys, we all started playing well together. And then we were able to win the championship. That was the first one. And the second one was we all got even better. And luckily, we won it again. You
were drafted in 2007, 7th overall pick. Tell me how that felt to walk on that stage and shake Mr. Stern's hand.
Just to be drafted, but, you know, growing up, you know, you always dream about getting drafted or dream about walking up there and shaking David Stern's hand, but actually had the opportunity was great. Like, you know, when I got drafted by Minnesota, I wasn't expecting it, but it was good.
You're pretty much like a quiet champ. Like, you've won a championship at every single level of your career. So, you know, how does it feel to be such a winner?
It feels good, you know. It's always good when somebody talks about it and puts your name in a sentence and they say champion. You know, that's what it's all about. Everybody wants to win, so when they mention your name, they gotta mention that, oh yeah, he won the championship. He won this championship. And, you know, it's a great feeling. It means a lot, but that's what like every basketball player works for, is to win championships. So to have a few means, you know, it's a good feeling.
Now, this past season, it was a little bit of uncertainty. You got traded, then you got traded again, and you ended up with the Mavs, and you ended up winning. So what was that experience like?
Man, this year was a roller coaster for me. I started off on the worst team in the league. I was in Minnesota, worst team in the league. I get traded to New York in the Carmelo trade. So I was in the Garden for the whole Carmelo thing. Like, it was crazy the first night the Garden was rocking. So I can actually say I was there. Like, I was on the court dressed and everything. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be crazy. But then, you know, it just didn't fit, so I got my buyout. So I was able to pick whatever team I wanted to go to. So I was gonna go to Boston, San Antonio, one of those two. But then my man, you know, Mark Cuban, they said, we want you. And the opportunity to play for Dallas, play with Dirk Nowitzki, it's tough. It's tough not to go there. And then I also was able to get an extension. I got another 2 years on my deal, so I was like, that's a perfect situation for me. And then we ended up winning the championship. So I was like, I started off bad, but ended great. So it's a roller coaster, but it was a good roller coaster.
Winning the championship, how was that experience? How was that, you know, I imagine it being the best feeling in the world.
It was a great feeling, you know, just to be out there, just to be on the court, just to go through the whole process. For me, it was my first time being in the playoffs since I got in the league, so getting in the playoffs, win it all. So I was overwhelmed, but it was great.
A lot of people in your family have diabetes. You get tested every year.
Correct.
How has that been for you growing up, knowing that you could possibly have this disease?
You know, it's tough, you know, especially I know how hard this disease is because my mother and father both have it, but my dad has it really bad. Like, he has both his legs amputated and he lost his vision. So to me, it hits hard, so it means a lot. So that's why I get tested every year, and that's why I have a foundation, just because I know what can happen if people don't take care of it.
With the lockout looming, what are your plans? Do you have any plans?
You know, I've been saving for a couple years, so we kind of knew the lockout was gonna come. So I've been saving for a couple years. So naturally, I'm good, and now I'm just working on my game and just getting ready. Whenever we do come back, I'm gonna be ready to play.
Okay, so you're not seeking any kind of outside contracts, or?
You know, not really right now. Not at the moment. You know, I feel like if I don't have to, I really don't want to. But if opportunity comes up, I wouldn't mind going overseas. You know, it's a lot of great opportunities. It's good to see other things, good to see other places. So, you never know, though.
It's been great talking to you. Thank you so much for coming out and speaking to us. Much luck in your future.
Appreciate it. Anytime.